Well, happy, beautiful, amazing evening and happy Independence Day weekend. Happy Canada Day for my friends in Canada. I'm Dr. Bob Rakowski out of Houston, Texas, with this week's conversation on success. And I'm going to focus on the 4 foundations of credibility, which certainly can be the foundation of a great business and a great life. First, Organo specials. So whether you're a distribution partner or a customer, Organo has phenomenal specials July 1 through 4. And my favorite, when you buy a case of coffee, you actually get it at a price that was less expensive than a decade ago, $16.80 per box. That's our price here in Texas. Who knows? Shipping might vary a little bit depending on where you are. And of course, then we have our Global Success Conference tickets available. You're going to want to get yours because this promises to be the best Organo event ever. I like to start with a little bit of training, and one of my great mentors, Les Brown, he says, you know what, whenever you're speaking to any group, they want to know 4 things. First and foremost, who are you? Secondly, what do you have? Third, why should I listen to you? Well, I tell people first and foremost, I'm a family man. Married 34 wonderful years to my beautiful wife, Kelly. We have 3 wonderful children, 3 beautiful granddaughters. I've been in clinical practice now 31 years, and I've seen both ends of the spectrum, world champion athletes and people sent home to die. I've also taught doctors all over the world, about clinical nutrition and functional medicine. Some people might think that gives me a bit of an advantage when it comes to healthy products, but I'll tell you what, most doctors that I know are having a really hard time getting out of their way and embracing the business model of network marketing. But I'm here to tell you, it's the best business decision that I've ever made. It has the greatest impact all over the world, and it can be wonderful for you and your family and your family's future. So what are we offering? Well, we're offering time freedom, money freedom, location freedom, better health, beautiful confidence, enhanced cognition, nourishing energy, and the package of total freedom. I think if we asked 100 people, would you like this? Well, they'd probably have to say, well, absolutely, I'd love that. Who wouldn't? So now, why should you listen to me? 10 years in the business, 10 years of growth, over $37 million in team sales, and growing consistently. So I consider myself a very good student of success and life. I won't attempt his last name, but this is one of the co-founders of Paul Mitchell, the hair products. And here's what he said. He says, you know what? You don't want to be in the selling business, but you do want to be in the reorder business. So think about it. If you make a sale, okay, great, you made a sale. But if ultimately you get something that people want again and again and again, now you've got a steady business that can take care of you for a long, long time. So here are some simple facts. The average coffee drinker in North America drinks 3.3 cups a day. You multiply that by 365 days a year, that's over 1,200 cups every single year. They never need to be reminded. They never plan to quit. And that makes this absolutely one of the best reorder products ever. And who knows, maybe even the best reorder product ever. As a good student, I'm part of a mastermind group with Eric Worre with top networkers from all over the world. And what I will tell you is that Organo has some very powerful advantages, I think, over every other company. We have global markets, we have proven leadership, we're absolutely pandemic proof. I don't think anybody cut back on coffee or tea during the pandemic. In fact, they probably drank more. Our company is profoundly innovative, and of course, we are trustworthy. And I'll share a little bit more on that later. I also love great quotes. So here's what Nelson Mandela said: times change, and as they change, we need to change as well. So how about these gems, I should say, from John Maxwell? He says, people change when they hurt enough that they have to change, when they see enough that they're inspired to change, when they learn enough that they want to change, when they receive enough that they're able to change. Well, I think our role as facilitators of change is to help all of these things, especially when people are hurting. And there might be more people hurting now than ever before. If you were to look at what is the key to success, many experts will tell you that it is credibility. So we are going to focus on what credibility is and the 4 foundations of credibility. So if you're credible, you're able to be convincing. That, of course, is going to be important in our business. And notice it says we're capable of persuading people that something will be successful. So we probably don't have to work too hard with Organo. 14 years in business, operational in 40 countries, over $1 billion in sales, ever expanding, starting with coffee and tea, and then getting into weight management, and then skincare, and then travel and brain training, and ultimately brain energy and whole body energy. We have what I believe is the best offering in all of network marketing. So here are our 4 cores of credibility per Stephen Covey. Base is going to be integrity, followed by intent. Those 2 will make up character. Probably my favorite exemplar of character is Nelson Mandela. Study his history, absolutely amazing. Then if we're going to look at competence, you want to look at capabilities and results. Hard to find anybody, maybe even in the history of the planet, that has better results than Elon Musk. Very powerful. So he will be my exemplar of competence. And the more you can be like these 2 icons in your own life and business, I think it's a given that your business will be more successful. But let's look at character. So we can go back 2,500 years, and here's a simple fact. Your character is not made in a moment or in a day, but it's literally made day by day with all the choices that we make. And by the way, absolutely everything counts. And even our thoughts certainly will have an impact on that. So let's look at integrity. And I'll go with this quote from Warren Buffett. He says, in looking for people to hire, look for 3 qualities. Number 1, integrity. Number 2, intelligence. Number 3, energy. And here's the big one. He says, if they don't have the first, if they don't have integrity, the other 2, intelligence and energy, will kill you. So think about Hitler, right? He certainly had energy and intelligence. Integrity? Absolutely not. So what is integrity? Well, it certainly is going to be the intersection of your actions, words, and beliefs. It's also the alignment of your body, mind, and spirit. And all of these things should blend together, I believe, in a way that serves the world, makes the world better. And you know what? We reap what we sow. So the better we make the world, the better our world becomes. Stephen Covey wrote this amazing book, The Speed of Trust. The subtitle, The One Thing That Changes Absolutely Everything. So do we want to have trust? Well, absolutely we do. And here's Covey's quote on it. He says, nothing is as fast as the speed of trust. Nothing is as fulfilling as a relationship of trust. Nothing is as inspiring as an offering of trust. Nothing is as profitable as the economics of trust. Nothing has more influence than the reputation of trust. So our amazing leaders, they recognize this, and they've been working on a project with IBM and blockchain technology to create essentially the Organo products trust. So are you ready to see where your coffee and other products really come from? Where are they in the supply chain? What type of certifications do they have? How do we know? How do people know what they're getting? Well, we've created the technology so people can scan a barcode. These 4 products are currently available, and in time, every product in the Organo offering will have this products trust. So you might ask, well, why would Organo put such an investment of time, money, effort in technology? Here's my simple answer. We have a competitive advantage. When you look at how we've dotted the I's and crossed the T's and made sure that we source the best products, that we go through the best qualifications, that we have the best manufacturing, that is something that creates profound trust. And now people can figure out all of these things with the scan of a barcode. When we start talking about character and character strengths and virtues, here's what we know. The 4 cardinal virtues, these go back again thousands of years. We're going to look at wisdom, courage. They called it moderation and justice. But moderation is much more than just not eating too much or drinking too much, but it's really more deeper than that. It's self-mastery. And then justice, and later on they said humanity and things like that. Well, those are just nice words for love. So love, of course, is going to be the greatest of all, but let's go through these four virtues because we're going to want to cultivate them to ultimately develop our character and our strengths. Seek wisdom was an interesting command, and if you get that, most other things will come your way. And I like this quote from Aristotle: the educated differ from the uneducated as much as the living from the dead. Now, I'm not talking about formal education as much as I am life education, virtue education. If you want to put your efforts into something, study virtues, master virtues, apply virtues, and you will likely create your best life. So I first heard of this story from Deepak Chopra in his 7 spiritual laws of success. And he talked about 2 goddesses. One was a goddess of wisdom and the other was a goddess of wealth. A lot of people made the mistake of paying their attention to the goddess of wealth. But this story says they have it backwards. You want to give your heart, your soul, and your attention to the goddess of wisdom, and then the goddess of wealth, who happens to be pretty jealous, will automatically chase you. So focus on wisdom and everything else will come your way. Love this quote about courage, often called the king of virtues. C.S. Lewis says, courage is not simply one of the virtues, but it's the form of every virtue at the testing point. So keep in mind, life will test us, and that's where we're going to want to stand up to what we stand for. And one of my favorite quotes: if you don't stand for something, you will likely fall for anything. Leonardo da Vinci, considered by many the greatest genius of all time, he says this: you can have no smaller or greater mastery than the mastery of oneself. So he was quite the master, pretty good advice to take. So when it comes to mastering ourselves, I like to talk about the 7 life areas. We're mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, social, financial, and impactful. And we probably want to master each of these areas of our life. And you may even want different mentors in each area because, it's rare that you find a person that has mastery in all 7 areas. And then, of course, the final virtue, the greatest of these, is love. And I'm going to go to Og Mandino. He has a book called The Greatest Salesman in the World, and a number of scrolls with success stories and tips for life. But he talks about greeting each day with love in your heart. And he says, he'll love the sun and the stars and the moon and the earth and everybody on it. But what I believe is the most powerful line of all is, and most of all, I will love myself. For when I do, I will zealously inspect all things which enter my body, my mind, my soul, and my heart. Now, I want you to think about that. If people really loved themselves and zealously inspected all things that entered their body, wouldn't that be just the greatest selling point for what we offer? We offer better products, cleaner products, healthier products that have the potential to, with every sip, make every individual who's enjoying them better. So let's go now to intention. And this is powerful. And there's people on my team that I want to talk to because Ed Milet and Wayne Dyer had some of the most powerful advice about intention ever. And I'm going to share this with you. So Wayne Dyer wrote the book, The Power of Intention. And here's what he said: intention is an infinite and eternal source that guides all creation. So focus on your intention. And here's what he told Ed Milet.
Intentions. I'm running down the beach about 30 years ago in Hawaii. I wanted an incentive trip for my first company I was in network marketing. I get up at 5:30. Eric, I'm running down the beach. This sweaty, bald dude's running towards me. And he gets by me. It was not you, but he kind of looked like you. He did. He kind of looked like you. And he gets near me, and it's Dr. Wayne Dyer, who I know you know, and maybe some of these folks do if you don't Google him. He's one of the top 3 or 4 all-time thought leaders and a very special man. And he runs by me. He was a hero of mine. I say, Dr. Dyer, you changed my life. We both had Sony Walkmans with cassettes. That's how long ago it was, Eric. And he goes, I doubt that. I bet you changed your life, but how did I help? And he walked towards me. We sat on the beach together, and I watched the sun come up with Wayne Dyer for 90 minutes. Became a dear friend. He said to me at the end, he said, I want everyone to hear this. I'll give you the gift of this conversation because it's how you change your identity. He said, Ed, you're going to change the world. You're brilliant. I don't even know what planet you're from, the way you talk. I'm feeling things I've never felt. And he goes, and that's not why you're going to be successful or happy. Would you please do me a favor and never connect your identity or your worth to your ability or your achievements? I said, well, what else do I? Why not? He says, because Ed, you'll always be chasing those abilities. It'll never be enough. And Ed, once the success leaves for a minute, or you have a chargeback or something happens, it's going to explode. I said, well, what do I attach it to, Wayne? He said, Ed, let me tell you why you're going to change the world. You intend to help people. Your intentions are to serve people and make a difference. Would you please always attach your identity to your intentions? You're a good man. You intend to make a difference. You've got a pure heart. Eric, that was the first time in my life someone had complimented me where I believed them.
Well, beyond powerful. And here is the quote that I want you to know, the advice that I want you to know. Let your intentions, not your results, drive your self-esteem. Well, I'll tell you what, my success in network marketing was not as fast as I wanted it to be. Ed's success was not as fast as he wanted to be. Eric Worre's success was not as fast as he wanted it to be. I don't know if I know anybody who had success as fast as they wanted it to be, but most people just stuck with it. And as long as they had that great intention to add value, to serve, which we are in the best position to do that, let that drive your self-esteem. And then ultimately, the results will come. So some teaching points on this, right? So Ed was on his first network marketing incentive trip. So first and foremost, he made his first fortune in network marketing. He's one of Fortune's 50 richest men under 50. I Googled his net worth, $450 million. So he took his network marketing millions, which was in 8 figures, according to what's on the internet about him, and turned it into 9 figures and is working his way towards 10 figures. But so first and foremost, look, he was on his MLM incentive trip. That means he did something. He created some results. He won a trip. And here's what I'll tell you. Incentive trips are coming back. In fact, I'm looking forward to the chairman's bonus. Very powerful, very motivating. Here's the next thing. He's running on the beach at 5 a.m. Now, think about that. How crowded do you think the beach is at 5 a.m.? I've ran on the beach at 5 a.m. Here's what I can tell you. You're lucky to pass just a few people, but when you pass them, what do you pass? You pass an Ed Milet, a guy going someplace. You pass Wayne Dyer, one of the most influential people on the planet, running on the beach at 5 a.m. So is there something to getting up before the sun? Yeah. Is there something about taking care of your body? Yeah. And the best of the best do that. So maybe that's a little built-in guide to this talk. Get up early, take care of your body, mind, and spirit, build these 4 pillars, and good things will be on the way. So I bought 250 copies of Ed's book, The Power of One More, in that webinar with Eric Worre. He says, look, if you buy 250 books, you get a day with me at his residence. So I said, well, that's worth it. And by the way, I'm going to donate all the proceeds to the shooting victims of Uvalde. Then I'll match it. I'll personally match it. And Jamie Kern Lima also agreed to match it. So guess what? The money I spent on that, I get 250 books that I'm going to use to build our team. But how wonderful to essentially give $20,000 to charity by making a purchase that'll be valuable and get a day with Ed Milet. And I'll tell you what, after I have that day, I'll be looking forward to that conversation on success, because I'll share with you everything that I've learned. Eric Worre asked Ed, what was your superpower in network marketing? And he said, you know what? My superpower was selling the dream. And he has podcasts on this. And he said, look, great entrepreneurs are constantly conscious of selling the dream. Now, whose dream do you want to sell? Maybe your dream, but I'll tell you what, I like to sell other people's dream back to them. Tell me about your dream. And by the way, that was the secret of Dexter Yeager. I know people that were on Dexter Yeager's Amway team. By the way, they're now on our Organo team. I said, what was Dexter like? And they said, laser focus. And he always had one question for me. Tell me about your dream. And there's his book, Don't Let Anybody Steal Your Dream. Dexter Yeager, probably somewhere near network marketing earnings, $500 million. And by the way, still earning. He passed a few years ago, but the team he built is still earning. So learn to sell that dream and always, of course, protect your dream. And one of my favorite quotes from any Organo event ever, and this is when I really got it: no dream is too big for coffee. So when we look at coffee numbers, I'm a numbers guy. So we look at a couple billion, 2.25 billion cups of coffee every day, about the same of tea. So here we go. A billion years ago, there was no life on planet Earth. A billion days ago, no human life on planet Earth. A billion hours ago was the old Stone Age. A billion minutes ago was the Roman Empire. A billion seconds ago was 1990. But a billion cups of coffee ago, well, that was this morning. So I want you to think about that. Do we have a product that the world wants? Yeah. Do we have patented competitive advantages? Yeah. Are we going to take over the world? Yeah. As soon as we build these foundations and apply it, what we've got is unmatched in network marketing. So let's look at competence, which is another term for our capabilities. And I really love this quote: never forget how wildly capable you are, or let me remind you that we are all wildly capable. We are all connected to infinite in every single way, and we're all connected to greatness within the company of Organo. Somewhere in your direct support line, I don't like to use the word upline, I like support line. And what about downline? How about success line? Somewhere in your support line is someone that is profoundly successful in Organo and in life, and they are ready, willing, and able to help all the way up to the amazing corporate level. When we look at Eric Worre, he's the best skills trainer in the game. His book, GoPro, 7 Steps to Become a Network Marketing Professional, he floundered around for about 4 years until he mastered these skills. You've got to be able to find prospects. You got to invite them. You got to present, follow up, transfer belief, start strong, promote events. And most recently he said, and I don't think it was the first time he said it, but maybe it's the first time I heard it. He said, you've mastered these 7 skills and you will never have to worry about money again. Well, that's certainly true of him. That's certainly true of Ed Milet. I'm happy to say that's true for Kelly and I as well. And I don't even think we've mastered these skills yet. I think we have a ways to go yet. But let me talk about the gateway skills. You want to grow your circles of friends. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. So, make friends, meet their friends, always add value, put the person's best interest first, always. You will reap what you sow, not always where you sow. Ultimately, you keep doing good, good comes back. And then the next thing is share resources. It's literally, that's it. If you can grow your circle of friends and share resources, you're there. I often have people, ask me, Bob, what advice would you give to someone starting brand new? You know what? Learn to share resources. Very, very simply. We've got OG Academy. Organo is constantly expanding their offerings, and then put people on a message or a Zoom or a conversation or whatever with someone that knows more than you do. I tell the story, I was recruited by a 7-figure earner. I'm not recruitable, but it's funny, this guy, wanted to recruit me into his business. And I laughed. I said, you know what, I'm not at all interested, but I'd like to see some of your tools. So he says, yeah, we got the best tool and I'll share it with you, but you have to agree to a 3-way call with one of my partners. I said, yeah, I'll do that. Well, his tool wasn't that great. Organo has better tools, but I liked his system. Even though he was a 7-figure earner, he said, look, I always tell people, look, share a tool, then point to an expert. Don't ever be the expert. If people learn that right away, share a tool, point to an expert. Now This is very duplicatable fast. And then finally, results. So what kind of results do we want? Well, a lot of results, right? It's all dependent upon your personal goals, but there's no limit in this business. And here's one thing that I absolutely love about network marketing, love about Organo. We are only one connection away from our business, our life, our universe changing very, very, very dramatically. So just keep making those connections, keep adding value, and one connection closer. Ultimately, when you stick with it, you will get there. The pearl really for this that I want you to get, not everybody has the results that they're looking for right now. That's okay. They are coming as long as you stay the course. And Wayne Dyer, one of the greatest influencers of all time, one of the greatest minds, having a conversation with a young Ed Milet, who had just earned his first incentive trip with his network marketing company. Let your intentions, not your results, drive your self-esteem. The power of intentions is beyond powerful. So we're back to the 4 cores of credibility. To wrap things up, you want to have great character. That involves integrity and intent. You want to be profoundly competent. So skills, ultimately the 7 skills, but the gateway skills, grow your group of friends and be able to share resources. The better you get at that, the better your results will be. Organo is what I believe to be the best thing going in all of network marketing, probably in the entire history of network marketing. We've got global markets, proven leadership. We're pandemic proof. People are never going to stop drinking coffee or tea. They're probably drinking more. They're profoundly innovative and trustworthy, and putting our money where our mouth is in our Organo products. Trust. Look at coffee statistics, billions every day, 3.3 cups a day here in North America, times 365 days a year, over 1,200 cups a year. People that I introduced to Organo products 10 years ago, guess what? I've been paid over 12,000 times on that one introduction. But guess what? So have they. With every sip, they nourish their body, mind, and spirit. Take advantage of the Organo specials. You still have a little time for that. Get this message to your team and to your customers. You can take advantage of savings greater than we saw even a decade ago. And remember, we have Expo coming up. So this wraps up this week's conversation on success. And as always, I'm Dr. Bob Rakowski, absolutely knowing that we can all be happy, healthy, and successful. So good night all, and God bless.